This is Carita Parks with Bowie TV. The Baltimore Ravens are set to go on the road to see their divisional opponent, the Cleveland Browns. This will be their second divisional game of the season, and the Browns are going through some changes. They announced that they will have a new play caller this week, and also with the injury to Deshaun Watson last week, we can expect for the Ravens to see Jameis Winston. So sometimes when these changes happen, it can breathe new life into a team. And so with this already being a divisional game and a tough matchup, the Ravens know that they have to go in there and play their best football. Zach Orr addressed how preparing for a new play caller and quarterback has gone for the Ravens this week. And basically he said that it just gives them an opportunity to focus on getting their job done.
They got a quarterback who you don't have much film on this year with these type of players in this system. And you got a new play caller who hasn't called plays with this personnel. So it's definitely going to be a little bit of unknown. But that just makes us focus on our job even more.
Ravens offensive coordinator Todd Monken has spent some time with Jameis Winston. So while it's been a long time, he still is familiar with what Jameis can do as a quarterback. He spoke very highly of him this week. Here's what Monken had to say.
And that dude loves football. He loves his teammates. He owns it. Like when we were in Tampa, never threw out some of the busted coaches. He owned it. He works awfully hard. There's a lot to love about Jameis Winston.
With the Ravens coming off a Monday night football game, it's been a short week. And there were some injuries, particularly to Marlon Humphrey in that Monday night game. He suffered a knee injury. He did not practice this week. But the defense and the secondary is getting a boost with the return of Arthur Maulet. He spoke this week about coming back, and he's looking forward to playing and getting on the field with his guys. I know it's not ideal, but just having that time to kind of observe what's going on, do you think that'll help you as you start to get back out there?
A little bit, but honestly, I would rather be out there and going to war with my guys, you know what I'm saying, if I could have it my way. But, God has his own plans for everyone, so I'm ready to, go out there and help him now.
The Ravens have seen the duo of Rashod, Bateman, and Zay Flowers start to come together as these games continue to move forward. Rashod is coming off a career game last week. And of course, there's been a lot made about his connection with Lamar Jackson. When asked about that today, he said you can call it chemistry or you could call it availability because he was injured and he wasn't really available to Lamar. Here's more from Bateman.
I mean, we can call it chemistry or we can call it unavailability. I haven't been available for Lamar to be able to be comfortable with situations. I am on the field more, getting more targets than I ever have since I've been in the league. So I think that's kind of bound to happen.
In some additional news that broke on Friday regarding Roquan Smith and his tackle on wide receiver Chris Godwin during the Tampa Bay game, the NFL did fine him, and they have said that they deem it as a hip drop tackle. Roquan Smith, he plays hard, he plays physical. We had a chance to talk to him this week, and he did say that he never goes into a game with the intent to injure a player. Now, this conversation with Roquan was before the fine came down from the NFL, but here is what he had to say about that tackle.
But I never go into any game meaning to injure any player. I want every player to go back home safe and sound to their family, maybe a little sore, but other than that, I definitely want you to go back home to your family all safe and sound.
This is Carita Parks with Bowie TV. That's been your Ravens Rundown leading up to the Cleveland Browns game. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Bowie TV Sports. We'll have more for you after the Browns game on Sunday.
done a good job. It's been a good week of practice, very focused week. We've got to try to go out there and Sunday and put our best foot forward and play our best game. That's what we're striving to do. What questions do you have?
John, with Marlon not really practicing at all this week, what kind of think his chances are for Sunday?
I think we'll find out as we get closer to Sunday, get through the injury report today, and then see where we are on Sunday. With really all those guys.
John, on the flip side, how excited are you to get Arthur Millette back, given some of the guys banged up in the secondary and knowing what he did for you guys last year defensively?
Arthur's done a great job of working hard. You know, he's been out for a while. He's been chomping at the bit. He's been anxious and he's worked hard. So we'll see how it looks and see how he looks. And looking forward to anybody that we have that's healthy and wants to play and is a good player. We like to have him out there.
John, there was a report while you guys were out there that Roquan was fined, I guess, for that hit in the game. We didn't get a chance to ask you about that on Wednesday. What did you make of that play? Did you see any element of a hip drop when you looked at that on film? I mean, what was your?
Yeah, I mean, you can parse all that. It becomes really fine. It's fine tuning, you know, to determine those things. So I think I'm sure they'll look at every element of that, and I'm sure there'll be continued conversation on that. But just as far as Rowe goes, you know, Rowe's fighting to go make a tackle there. We're trying to get off the field. We're trying to get out of the game with a victory. And he would never do anything. Well, number one, he would never do anything to hurt another player. I think everybody knows that. And he would never do anything that's outside the rules. Everybody knows that. That's how he plays. So tries to do it according to the rules, just like all our guys do. I think Kyle showed that too with that hit, you know, downfield on the receiver. You try to do it as best you can within the rules.
John, obviously that type of tackle isn't being coached. I mean, it seems more instinctual than anything. How tough is it to kind of take it out of the game? I know that's what the league wants.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really probably at a place right now in my mind right now to have that whole debate and conversation. We had that conversation, you know, in the off season, and there's a lot of ins and outs to it. But right now, you know, for me, for Rowe, for all the guys, just try to do the best you can to play within the rules, you know, and do it the right way and the effective way, and you know, the fundamentally sound way and the safe way. I mean, that's what we try always to do our best at.
John, do you think that Jalen could come back on Sunday without a lot of rust after missing this?
I think there's a lot of possibilities for who could be active on Sunday and playing, you know, so we'll be working through that for sure. Got 48 hours, really. Well, it's a little less than 48 now. It's about 47 hours and 50 minutes. You know, and we'll probably be able to work all that out by game time.
How pleased were you with what you saw from Keaton Mitchell throughout this week?
Yeah, I think it's good to have Keaton back, and he's ramping up.
Likewise, on having Zay back, how much does that,
Zay Flowers?
How much does that help the offense? Assuming he plays.
Self-evident probably answer. You know, I mean, Zay being back, if he's back, would be awesome. You know, he's a big part of what we do for sure.
John, Marlon's injury aside, how impressed have you been with him this season?
Marlon, how impressed have I been with Marlon?
Yeah.
I've been very impressed. I mean, just the thing about that game last week was the fact that, and this is true really of any game, you know, you got to step up and make plays at some point in time. To get stopped, somebody's got to make some kind of play. You got to make a tackle at least, a sack fumble, a turnover, an interception, a recovered fumble, a fourth down stop, a third down stop. You know, all those things are playmaking things. So Marlon made two huge plays in that game. You know, it's probably indicative of how he's played all year. He's not perfect. He wants to get better. We're all chasing improvement every single day, but you know, that was huge for us. Great.
Put in, we know what it takes to develop, and hopefully we keep doing the things we need to do.
We're starting to see your impact show up on a more consistent basis. I mean, how do you feel right now in terms of your game compared to this point in your career?
I'm blessed. I feel good, but always hungry for more. I'm just following the leader, Lamar. Right now, we only on what we did right now. It's a long season. We're trying to get back to the NFC Championship. So, I'm thankful and I'm blessed, but my main goal is winning more games.
Is there a different vibe in this locker room, considering how far you guys did go last year, and you're right back in the thick of things again this year? What's kind of the tone right now compared to maybe where you guys were last year?
It's definitely the same as far as the vibe. This team does a good job of separating into the seasons. Last year, what we did, it didn't carry us into this year, and we did a good job of keeping it to the separated, just coming to work every day and showing up and putting the hours in the So guys that were here last year know what it feels like. They do take the average team. So they've done a good job of sharing what they know and how to continue to win games.
You guys have another dominant rushing attack again this year. Now Derrick Henry is a part of that. Do you notice as a receiver how difficult it is for defenses to try to stop you guys?
I mean, I would definitely assume it's probably hard. It's a lot of weapons you got to think about, especially with the run game, doing what it's doing in the past, doing what it's doing, and you got to account for Lamar always. So I mean, I'm just glad I'm not a defensive coordinator because I know how I would do it right now. So.
Did you see the difference?
Is the big play like one that you obviously hit it in Sunday's game? But are those big plays something that are one emphasis for the team?
We want every play to be a big play. So every run that's called, every pass, no matter what it is, our job is to turn it into a big play. It might not happen every time, but that's the goal that we play. So hopefully we can make every play.
We saw the scramble drill last week where the ball was kind of directed to you and you caught it. Talk to me about the feel of those plays where you kind of have to know where he's going. He has to have a sense of where you are when the play breaks down.
It definitely comes with time, practice, and I've been able to be on the field with Lamar and kind of feel, what he wants. He can feel, what I want. Balls, that was crazy. But football terms, I've been able to put in those hours with him and learn how you play football. And just know it's been carrying over.
Is a play like that kind of speak to where the chemistry is between you two right now for to hit on a play like that on the scramble?
Yeah, I mean, we can call it chemistry or we can call it unavailability. I haven't been available for Lamar to be able to be comfortable with those situations. I am on the field more, getting more targets than I ever have since I've been in the league. So I think that's kind of bound to happen. So,
Did you guys see the difference in coverage because the defense have to, especially the safeties, have to play up a little more now?
I mean, I just feel like we see a lot of different things just because, we do have a lot of weapons and there's a lot of different ways you can play us and it's not just one best way to play us. So, everybody's going to give us their best shot, and give us, exotic defenses, week in and week out. But it all starts from Lamar. He's done a good job of dissecting everything and breaking it all down and, hopefully we continue to do that.
Rashod, you had to deal with a lot of criticism just from your availability standpoint, as you said, and just the connection with Lamar wasn't always where it was. For you to have this kind of season, to start breaking out over the past few games and demonstrate more over the course of the season, just is there satisfaction for you?
Not right now. It was so bad that all I can do is just want more, for the team and for myself. And I've always been, confident in what I can do, my abilities. But I don't know why I got hurt in the past. It really wasn't nothing that I could even do to prevent, any of the injuries that happened to me. So, right now I'm just, thankful, but just being a competitor, just coming to work every day, not trying to get complacent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.